If you are determined to completely transform your life, make 2025 your year, but you are feeling frustrated because you're not sure where to start, this is the video for you. Because if you're stressing out about this, I promise you that you are doing it wrong. My name is Keisha Rice. I am a dating coach and hypnotherapist. I help women learn how to heal from their unhealthy relationship patterns and learn how to attract healthy, loving, cherished relationships. And as part of that, I'm always telling my clients that all relationships are related. So if you are having difficulties in your romantic relationships, you're likely also having some difficulties with family members, with friends, and also with your relationship with yourself. So, in honor of that, I've done a couple of videos on this channel talking about winter arc. And that is the time period from October through December where instead of waiting you know, until the new year, till January 1st to start working on your New Year's resolutions, you get a jump on it by doing it in Q4 the previous year so that you have time to build up these habits, have some failures, have some successes, get into new routines, new habits, so that when the new year starts, you're hitting the ground running and you're so far ahead of all those people who inevitably set resolutions on January 1st. And by, I think the study was something like January 20th, January 26th, they have already given up on those resolutions. So, we're going to talk about some lazy girl hacks that you can start doing to transform your life because we think transforming our lives is going to be this big, huge thing. And yes, eventually it becomes a big, huge thing. Success breeds more success. But in the beginning, it is the small habits, it is the little things that you start putting into place that allow you to build. And as you start to build, it's kind of like, pushing a boulder up a hill. Like it becomes more and more bigger and bigger until one day you wake up and you have the life you want. And in some ways, it's like you did nothing to get there. And you really did do work. You put in the effort, but because you were focusing on little things at a time, it wasn't so burdensome, it wasn't so stressful. So, we're going to talk about some different things in four different areas. Before we get any further in this video, I just want to say if you check the description, you are going to see 50 million different links. And the reason for that is because as I'm talking about all these different hacks, some of them are things that you would pay for, some of them are completely free. I'm giving you the links because I want you to have the information. And, some of them are also affiliate links. So that means that if you use them, like, yes, I get $5 or $10 or whatever. But so do you. You get that as a discount. But I put all the links there because I honestly thought about breaking this into four separate videos. But I felt like if I did that, I was kind of spamming you, honestly. So I would much rather just go through all of these different things in one video, put all the links. I think there's like 10 of them in this description. And whatever appeals to you, you try. Again, I was just talking about the fact that transforming your life does not have to be this big, huge thing. It does not have to be everything all at once. So pick one thing and try that out, see how it works for you, and let me know how it goes. Okay, so we're going to talk about lazy girl hacks in four different areas: mindset. We're also going to talk about relationships because, of course, that's kind of my specialty. We're going to talk about money and we're going to talk about health. So, mindset. One of the biggest hacks that has made a huge difference for me is subliminals. So subliminals are, if you're familiar with the idea of affirmations, affirmations are positive sayings that you say to yourself over and over again. And the idea is that by hearing yourself say these or hearing someone else say these, you start to get them in your head and it starts to rewire your mindset. As a woman who's Christian, I always think about the Bible verse where Moses, and since this is a story about Moses, I know this also applies to women who are of Jewish faith and women who are Muslim as well. But I always think about the story of Moses and the burning bush. And when God tells Moses to go back to Egypt, and Moses is like, okay, cool, but who am I supposed to say sent me? And God says, tell them I am sent you. And we know that as far as, God goes, this concept of I am and this idea that, God is all things, but this is also applying to us as well. Whatever we say about ourselves, our subconscious minds pick up on that and run with it. So, you see it all the time on social media when people are like, I'm dead. And it's like, I never ever comment that. Um, and people will be like, oh, you're taking it too seriously, but like it's my mind and it's my future and it's my conscience. So yes, I take that seriously. I always try to make sure that I say to myself, um, I'm thinking about the song from Baby Tate right now, where where the chorus is, I am healthy, I am wealthy, I am rich, I am that, word that rhymes with which. Um, but yes, whenever I use I am in a sentence, I try to make it something positive about myself. So I am strong, I am healthy, I am beautiful, I am abundant, whatever the adjective I want to use to describe myself in my life at that period. And subliminals help with this because sometimes we can find ourselves in seasons where we're working on our self-esteem or just life has knocked us down. And it can be hard to say those positive things about ourselves and really mean it. So subliminal audios allow you to just kind of play them in the background. You'll hear music and the voice track is purposefully very low in volume. You don't really make out what the person is saying. And that is on purpose to get to your subconscious so that your conscious mind does not hear certain things. And again, if you're at a low point, start thinking, this is BS, this is BS, right? So I will say that yes, there are free subliminals all over YouTube. And if that is the route that you want to go, no shame in that. My only thing about that is I have not personally vetted everyone who has done subliminals on YouTube. And because of the nature of them, I'm kind of careful and particular about who I would want speaking to me and speaking into me. Again, even from a religious concept, you don't allow everyone to speak life into you. And those of us who are Christian and grew up in church know that you don't want anybody just laying hands on you. So, because of that, one of the links that is in the description is a paid subliminal. It is all about self-love. And it's from Julietta Bodo at Fora Institute. That is where I got my hypnosis certification from. So I will put that in the description. It is all about increasing your self-love. And stay tuned. I plan on making my own subliminals in the future, but there you go. If you want to search subliminals online, again, not saying you have to pay for it for anything. There are subliminals that exist all over YouTube, but this is one of the ones that I personally use, the self-love one. So that brings me to the second mindset thing is hypnosis. Now, I'm calling this a lazy girl hack because yes, hypnosis takes time. You have to schedule it. You have to work with a hypnotherapist. But, the time that you spend in that 60-minute session can undo years of unhealthy patterns. Um, I became certified in hypnosis because I became obsessed with hypnosis when I started seeing a hypnotherapist myself. Hypnosis is all about putting your mind in a very relaxed state and allowing suggestions to come to your subconscious and accepting those and allowing those to help rewire unhealthy thoughts, negative thinking patterns, um, and to get to the root of why you exhibit certain behaviors or why you self sabotage. And I'm very clear on saying that these are suggestions because if someone suggested something that your subconscious mind wanted to reject, it would reject it. So this is not a case where you're being brainwashed or mind controlled. Um, all hypnosis is self hypnosis. So a person does not do hypnosis to you, like as a hypnotherapist. I don't do hypnosis to you, I help facilitate it. And as far as the state of mind that you're in, it is actually a state of mind that you're very, very familiar with. If you have ever gone to the movies and you've been so engrossed in the movie that you forget that there are other people in the theater, that mindset, that mind frame is the same mind frame that you're in hypnosis. If you've ever driven to work or a friend's house or the grocery store or whatever, you get in the car, you start driving, and then all of a sudden you pull up into the parking lot and you don't even really remember driving to that place. Same mind frame, right? So hypnosis is just taking that state of mind, those brain waves, and it's making it a controlled setting and using that to, again, in hypnosis with my clients, we do things like help improve their confidence, get to the root of why they have certain negative beliefs, rewire certain patterns, as in if as a child there were situations in their childhood that made them constantly feel unworthy of asking for things or receiving things, getting to that and reframing that so that they feel worthy of receiving, worthy of being loved. There are so many use cases for hypnosis. I personally don't do hypnosis for weight loss and for smoking, but those are two of the most popular reasons that people go see a hypnotherapist. So I focus on goal setting, confidence, um, again, rewiring unhealthy patterns, self-worth, self-love, those things. But hypnosis again has so many use cases, and there are studies that suggest that it is more effective than traditional cognitive behavioral talk therapy. And let me know if you want to know more about hypnosis. Make sure you leave me a comment. I will definitely do some more videos if you are interested. And in the description, again, I have a link to my hypnosis for dating confidence and self love. Again, there are other great hypnotherapists online that you can check out. And there are, uh, again, there are audios on YouTube, but please vet the people that you're checking out if you're going to do that. The third hack for mindset is journaling. And I know that is not going to sound like a lazy girl hack, but journaling can be done in 10, 15 minutes a day. It really does not have to take a long time. And in the process of journaling, it is not necessarily the daily journaling itself, but it's being able to go back over those pages and look and see the patterns that keep coming up in your life. It is being able to notice, okay, I see that when I'm in a relationship and this situation happens, I have a tendency to do this. I have a tendency to do that. Why am I behaving this way? Why am I reacting that way? And oftentimes you can do a lot of this work yourself to recognize what the patterns are and to start thinking through how you want to heal them and taking that action. So journaling is a lazy girl hack because having it on paper allows you to recognize the patterns faster so that you can do something about them and heal them quicker. But also, journaling is amazing in combination with seeing a coach or if you are seeing a therapist, because you're able to have these things that you've written down and you're able to show your coach or your therapist, like, hey, I've noticed these things are a pattern. What do you think about them? You're able to, again, get to the root of things so much faster because you're no longer overthinking and living in your head. You're able to take these things out of your head and onto paper, make it more concrete. I do so many videos about masculine and feminine energy and balancing those. This is one of those things that is masculine energy. It is structure. You have the structure and the container to be able to have right in front of you logically, like, these are the facts. This is how I've been thinking. These are the thinking patterns that I've been exhibiting. And again, that just allows you to heal things so much faster. So those are my 3 mindset hacks. Now I want to get into relationships. So if you're going to make what's left of 2024 or 2025 your year to find love, it is so important that you expand your opportunities to get out there and to meet people, not just men. I will get into that in a second, um, but to meet people in general. So, as far as online dating goes, I am actually a proponent of online dating, or as I always tell my clients, I'm not a fan of online dating. I am definitely, though, a fan of online meeting. So we use online dating to get on the apps, meet someone quickly, match with them, and then take the conversations offline as quickly as possible so that we don't waste our time, right? So that we end up meeting people, meeting more men, expanding your circle. If you roster date, you build up your roster and then you meet these men, go out on dates with them, and you're able to quickly dismiss someone as, no, he's cool, he's just not for me, and you move on. Or you're able to say, yeah, this is somebody that I want to get to know more and I want to explore this relationship more. But either way, you're expanding your dating pool. Now, beyond online dating, I do think that you should also be meeting men out in the real world in person, but you can also use the internet to help you with that. So I am always telling my clients to join meetup groups. So meetup.com is this website where you put in what city you live, and there are different groups that you can join. And the groups have, it can be people who have common interests such as health and fitness, like a run club, or it can be volunteering, it can be young professionals, whatever. But getting into these groups, of course, particularly getting into co-ed groups, allows you to get out there and meet men. And one of the advantages that you have is these are groups that are formed based on common interest. The New York Times just did an article about how running clubs are seeing an explosion in popularity because people are using them to make romantic connections. They're going to these run clubs and they love running. In case of a heterosexual woman, you're meeting men who also love running, so you have fitness in common. And these run clubs are seeing an increase in people becoming couples, getting married and all from having met in the club. So, Meetup allows you to do that in other ways. If running is not your thing, because I know I personally only run if I'm being chased. If running is not your thing, then, again, when I first moved to Atlanta, I joined a meetup group that was young Black professionals. And in that group, we volunteered at a community garden. We volunteered at a soup kitchen. We went to movie premieres. We did a cooking class. And I was able to meet so many different cool men and women as a result of being in that group. So I'll put a link for meetup in the description. Also, Eventbrite, just a chance to, again, you put in your city, and these aren't groups, but they're different events in different classes. And again, you're increasing your chances of meeting someone who you already know that you have things in common with because you're able to filter events based on interest and you're able to get out there and expand your opportunities to meet people. Now, when it comes to something like Eventbrite, because you're going to have things like festivals and all of that, the question that I often get is, should you go to these events alone or should you go with someone? And I think that if you can go to these events alone and really embrace being by yourself, being a tourist in your own town and all of that, and if you're not afraid to go and start conversations with people, I think that that is amazing and you should definitely do it. Now, if that intimidates you, then I completely understand. However, please know that just as you may be afraid to approach men, that men have some hesitation about approaching women too. And especially they have this hesitation when women are in large groups. So if you want to have an accountability and event buddy, as in you pick one female friend and the two of you go out to these events together, I think that that is a fantastic idea. Um, because you also have the benefit of you and this friend are going to spend more time together and have fun. So even if the event turns out you don't meet anyone, you still had a good time with your friend, right? And also that way you can feel less intimidated. And when it comes to meeting men, they would definitely feel more comfortable approaching you if it's just you and one other woman, as opposed to you in a crowd of like five or six, right? So again, I will put, and I have notes if you keep seeing me looking down. I will put a link for Eventbrite in the description. And then also Brown Skin Brunching is, so there are plenty of other groups out there where you can network. And some of these are all female groups. And I bring them up because one, I think you should be trying to improve all of your relationships during your winter arc and into 2025. So that includes your friendships as well. But also, there is a benefit to even expanding your female friends from a dating and relationships point of view. Because you never know who has a brother, who has a business partner, who has a cousin. So anything you could do to expand your circle. And I have given the advice before of if you're serious about meeting men, why don't you ask your circle? Like, why don't you make it clear to your family and friends, hey, I'm single and interested in meeting someone? And the pushback I get from that sometimes is there's no way in hell that I would trust my family members or my friends to set me up on a date. Well, maybe it's time you start meeting women who you would trust to set you up on a date. So I brought up Brown Skin Brunching. That is one group that I'm personally in. They have events in different towns all over the country. And I know they have some international groups as well outside of the United States. And Brown Skin Brunching is in every city. They meet at least once a month. Some cities meet two or three times in a month because their groups are that big. And in the groups, it's 10, 12 ladies getting together and meeting for brunch. And they go to different restaurants. This, again, is a chance to expand your circle. Some other ways would be to join social clubs. So, off the top of my head, Soho House is a social club. The Gathering Spot is a social club. And those clubs have branches in different cities, normally major cities, where you can go there. They often have co-working spaces. So if you are a business owner or you work from home, this is a place where you can get out and go to these. And, you have the chance to meet, network, and, meet other people, meet professionals who are just like you. So in addition to the co-working spaces, they also have their own events and they have their networking. So if you're trying to meet more of the young professional crowd, Gathering Spot, Soho House, those are places where you would do that. And you can just search those up online. You can search social club in your city. Also, things like the Better Business Bureau. they have networking events as well. So just consider things like that. Okay, so now we're going to talk about money. One lazy girl hack to save money is to automate your savings. Now, there are some ways you can do that. One would be to go to your employer. When your employer does your check direct deposit, you can ask them to take a certain percentage of your check and to automatically deposit it into a separate bank account. And that can be your savings account. I would personally recommend that you make this difficult for yourself. And what I mean by make it difficult is instead of making that a savings account at the bank that you go to, I would recommend a credit union because there's all sorts of benefits to being in a credit union. And I would also recommend making it one where the closest branch is maybe not the closest drive to you so that you have the savings account, it's automated, money is going into it. At the same time, it's not so easy for you to withdraw, like you would have to drive a further distance, so that you can save up for goals. And when you need your money, if you needed your money quickly for any reason, you could go get it. But it's not just so easy, you know what I mean, to automatically go get that so that you're not as tempted. Now, I do that. I have a credit union savings account, but I also use an app called Opportun. It used to be called Digit. When I first started using it, it was called Digit. And I'm probably messing up the pronunciation now of Opportun, but it's been around for a few years. If I can, I will actually look. I was not going to put this in the description, but as I'm talking about it now, there's an episode of the podcast So Money, great podcast, by the way, that is about formerly Digit, now Opportun, and I will try to link that as well. But what Digit does is that it links to what Opportun does. I'm sorry, I'm very used to calling it Digit. But Opportun does is it links to your bank account and it starts to get a feel of your spending habits. So then it starts realizing, okay, Keisha consistently has this amount of money coming in every week and this amount of money going out every week. So it wouldn't hurt her. She wouldn't really even notice if I took $2.77 out of her checking account right now. So what Opportun, I keep wanting to say Digit, guys. I am so sorry. What Opportun does is it will take that $2.77 out of your checking account and it will put it into its account. And that account is a savings account. So it doesn't seem like very much, like $1 going out here, $4 going out there. But over time, it starts to build up. And again, I've been using it for a few years now. And, I've personally gone in sometimes and been like, oh, okay, I have $400 now in this account and I want to buy Christmas gifts. So I'm going to take the money out of the account and, spend that on Christmas gifts. And the way Opportun works is that once the money is in the account, you can, at any time that you want to, first of all, you can pause it. So if you think the app is getting a little aggressive or whatever, it's been saving too much money, you can tell it to pause and stop saving for you for 30 days or whatever period of time. But also, again, this is a savings account that you have access to at any time. So it gives you the option of whatever money you have saved in the Opportun account, you can transfer it right back to your checking account. And if you allow it, I think it's something like 2 or 3 days, then the transfer is free. If you want the money immediately, it charges you something like 99 cents, which again, if you have $600 saved up and you want to get it immediately, what's 99 cents? But yeah, so you have that option of a free transfer or an immediate paid transfer. But it's a way for you to be kind of lazy with saving up money because again, the app automatically does it for you, so you don't have to think about it. Another way is Stash, and Stash is all about investing. So Stash allows you to set aside money And you can set it up so that it takes money out of your paycheck. I think monthly. Yeah, every month it can take money out, and you can put it in personal investments and retirement investments as well. So if you don't have a 401k or a Roth IRA, this is a very beginner friendly way to set up a retirement account yourself, without going to a brokerage firm or without having to meet with an accountant. Although, if you want to do those things, I think that is great. But if you want something that's kind of beginner friendly and do it yourself, Stash is a great way to do that. Um, and again, now that I'm thinking about it, the So Many Podcast, which is not my podcast. I do have a podcast, but So Many, I'm not an affiliate. I'm not promoting or anything. It's just one of my personal favorite podcasts. But now that I think about it, I think they also did, or Farnoosh Torabi, the host, I think she did an interview with the founder of Stash. So I will look for that as well, check the description to see if I found that. But Stash allows you to invest, and you don't have to necessarily have the full amount of a stock price. You can invest partially in stocks. So, for example, I know I have stock in Apple, and Apple's stock price, their share price at the time of this recording is somewhere around 400 bucks. But you can invest like $50 in like a fractional share and own like a percentage of a share of Apple. And then of course, if you're putting back $50 a month, $100 a month, after a while, you could keep investing into that same stock until you own a stock fully. You can also invest in ETFs, so like groups of stocks. And Stash will give you recommendations on helping you personalize your portfolio. So again, it's very beginner friendly, very easy to do yourself. So if you want some way to make investing in the stock market lazier, I mean, you still have to be a little bit active because you're still choosing your stocks here. But, if you want to make it lazier and you want something that is an easy way to kind of get into the stock market, Stash is a great option. So, health. This is going to be the season for you to get serious about fitness and working out. Now, there are a few ways that you can do that. One would be free fitness workouts. I often use Grow with Joe when I can't get to my workout of choice, which I will get to in a second. And there's so many different YouTube channels out there that are full of great content creators helping you work out. I will link Grow with Joe because I personally use her. She has a lot of great walking workouts. So if you're like me and you're trying to increase your step count and get those steps in, then you should really enjoy her workouts. Another thing is, so for me, my workout of choice is group fitness class and particularly Pilates. So I wanted to do group fitness because one, it holds me accountable. So you start going to class all the time, you start meeting people. And if you go a period of time without showing up, people start asking you, like, hey, where have you been? Also, there's the fact that I'm paying for it. So I don't want to waste my money by not going to class. And for me, I love Pilates. I go particularly to Club Pilates, and I enjoy it. Now, I will say if you go on TikTok and search Club Pilates, you will find some mixed reviews. There are people who say that it is the greatest thing ever. There are people who say that it is absolutely the worst. I think that's really going to depend on your instructors and what city you live in. So, take that with a grain of salt. I personally love the studio that I go to. I have no complaints about the studio I go to. I love it. I don't have any issues getting in classes. But I just want to put that out there because you attract your tribe. I know that I am the type of person that if somebody suggests something to me, I'm immediately on Google, on TikTok, on Instagram, searching, seeing what other people have to say about it. So I'm sure you are the same way, in which case, if you go on TikTok, you will find very mixed reviews. Again, there are camps of people who think that Club Pilates is the best thing since sliced bread, and there are people who think that it's the worst. And again, I really I have some theories on that, but I really think it depends on like what city you live in and just what studio you go to. Um, but I bring it up because if you want to try out someplace, but you don't want to commit to one particular studio to begin with, or you don't want to commit to one particular workout to begin with, because everything isn't for everyone, right? You may find that you try a Pilates class and you love it. You may try and find out that you hate it. And maybe you would be happier with other offshoots of Pilates. I think solid core, um, body bar, uh, Legree, or you might be more into something like yoga or dance class, Zumba. Does anybody still do Zumba? Like, if you're watching this and you're in the comments and you do Zumba, let me know because I feel like that is a millennial thing to say. And I really haven't heard much about Zumba in the past few years, but I'm sure it still exists. So again, let me know if you, especially also if you've gotten this far in the video, because this is long. This is like not my typical content. And I thought about, again, I said at the beginning, I thought about breaking this up, but I thought one long video might be best. But if you've gotten this far and you know anyone who does Zumba, let me know. But, any of those like group fitness dance classes and all that, ClassPass is the way you should go. And I'll admit, I jumped straight into Pilates because I was in physical therapy for a hip injury, and my physical therapist recommended that I try Pilates. So I jumped straight into it. I did not do ClassPass, although I know Club Pilates has like a partnership with ClassPass. You can join ClassPass and use that to take um, a Club Pilates class. I'm saying that because, again, I want this video to be completely transparent. And in the spirit of that, I personally do not use ClassPass. I will have a link for it, but it is not an affiliate link because I'm not a member. But I will say I have so many friends who use ClassPass and love it. Some of my friends just travel often for work, so that's why they don't want to join any particular gym in their hometown because they want to be able to go like wherever they travel and be able to sign up for a fitness class. Um, I have some friends who are still trying to find out what workout works right for them. And, they still haven't found the right studio or the right type of workout. So they like ClassPass because they're able to try all these different studios while they're figuring out. And, I have some friends who get bored easily. So they just want to be able to join something like a ClassPass and try different workouts all the time because that's what ClassPass is. So ClassPass partners with different studios, group fitness programs around the country, and you're able to use their app to sign up for a dance class at one studio or a Pilates class at another studio or a yoga class at another studio. And they pay the studio. So let's say it was Club Pilates. You have your ClassPass membership, you get a certain number of points. You It's a certain number of points to sign up for a Club Pilates class, and ClassPass will pay Club Pilates for you being in the class, right? So it allows you to just try out a bunch of different studios all on one go, and they have an app and all of that. So again, that's not an affiliate link, so it won't save you any money. Sorry about that. But I will put a link for ClassPass so you can look it up. And then also the other lazy girl hack that I do for my health, in addition to working out on a regular basis, is I do red light therapy. And for me, I kind of find it even funny to say that I do that because I was never like the big woo-woo health and wellness girl. And I have friends who are. So I used to make fun of them for like all of their green smoothies and trying out this thing and that thing. Red light therapy is red light is a certain frequency that when it penetrates your skin, it has all of these different health benefits, right? And there are different light spectrums that have benefits. Like, have you ever heard of blue light therapy? People use that for bacteria and acne. and clearing their skin. So for me, red light, and I go to a place that has a red light bed, but there are people who buy red light masks who do this at home. Like you can buy full body red lights on Amazon. You can buy like it's not a sleeping bag, but it looks like a sleeping bag, but it has red lights in it and you can crawl into it and zip it up and get full body red light. And again, if you go on TikTok, red light masks that you put on your face are very popular. I go to a place called iCryo and they have a red light bed there. And for me, like the reason why this is a lazy girl hack is because one, I go a few times a week and there happens to be one that is close to my house. Like it's like a 10-minute drive. So yeah, there's the time in driving there and being in the red light bed. But once you're in the bed for like 15 minutes. And it is not hard for me to take a nap at all. So I can totally get in a nap in 15 minutes. Um, or sometimes I'll listen to like a short YouTube video or short podcast in that time. So you're just laying there, you're not doing anything. And for me, I've noticed that since I've started going on a regular basis, um, one, again, I mentioned being in physical therapy for a hip injury, and it has helped me with the pain. Um, excuse me, guys, I have had the worst allergies lately, so let me grab some water. So yeah, red light has helped me with the like muscle pain and everything. Also as recovery from my workouts. And red light has helped with, I've noticed people giving me more compliments on my skin being clear. And that definitely was not the case before I started going to red light. And it has also helped a little bit with my hair growth journey as well. And with my hair, um, I dealt with a lot of chronic illness things last year, and it had gotten to the point where my hair was starting to fall out. So, I'm talking about like every time I combed it, like clumps of hair were falling out. So, red light has been a benefit in my hair growth journey as well. So, look it up for yourself, honestly, as far as the benefits of red light therapy, because I am not a doctor. But that is why I personally go to iCryo. But the place is called iCryo because what they're known for is cryotherapy, which I honestly have never done, but I've heard so many great things about as far as like boosting your inflammation, like lowering your inflammation, sorry, not boosting it. Um, lowering your inflammation, boosting your metabolism, and helping with weight loss and all that. Cryotherapy is basically you get into this little chamber and it is freezing cold, very, very, very cold, like negative several degrees. And you stay in it for like 2 or 3 minutes. And honestly, I'm just too chicken to do it. Maybe one of these days I'll work up the courage. But I know any iCryo you go to will have like cryotherapy, they'll have red light. They also have saunas there, which there are all these health benefits to saunas as well. If you are a wellness girly and you're into like getting IVs and like shots of vitamins and all of that, they have those things too. You can search an iCryo and like near you, they're all over the US. And I'm sorry, I know this video is very US centric and I do have viewers in other countries. I am so sorry. If you're in the US, look up an iCryo near you. I will put in I do have an affiliate link for them actually. I will find the affiliate link because now that I'm thinking about it, sorry. I will find that link and put it in for you because I think it's something like a $10 off coupon or whatever. Um, but yeah, look it up. And if you are outside of the US, all these things that I mentioned, sauna, red light therapy, cryotherapy, you can find these in other places. So I would just Google it and look it up. So again, these are the lazy girl hacks that we are going to use to finish off winter aura or I don't know why I keep saying winter aura. I've said it in previous videos too. If you look at my other winter arc videos, you will see me say winter aura 50 million times. And no, I'm not going to re-record this. Winter arc. These are the hacks to have the best winter arc ever, to finish out this one strong. And if you are watching this beyond winter arc, to have the best 2025 ever and to start your new year off strong, or the best whatever year you end up watching this, the best 2035 ever, right? So yeah, let me know in the comments. I'm really interested. Was there any hack in particular that piqued your interest and that you want to try out immediately? Let me know. I will talk to you soon. Love you so much. Bye.
This podcast is brought to you by Contessa Digital.